Yo, what's going on, everyone? ATG here, checking in with a random ass video. Very random video. I'm just leaving the gym right now. I just got out the sauna. I think I stayed in there for maybe 10 minutes. It wasn't too bad. I could have stayed longer, but I'm a little bit pressed for time. Aside from that, the actual workout itself was good. I did shoulders. It was a killer shoulder workout. Make sure I hit everything, every head of the shoulder, front, side, back, up, down, horizontal, sideways, Made sure to get it all done. And I've been kind of following a little program I made for myself. I made it in my head. It's not like a real concrete written down program, but then it got me thinking that a lot of times, a lot of people, they kind of go into the gym, and including me, especially I would say a lot more advanced, maybe not advanced, I would say people that are intermediate when it comes to working on and training. They kind of go into the gym all the time and they just do a intuition style workout where every time they go, they just make up in their heads, okay, I did this and this and this for the week. I know that I have to hit legs today, so I'm going to do legs today. I'm going to go in based on what's available, based on what machines are available, what kind of time I have, I work with, I create a leg workout for myself. That's perfect and fine, right? But I've kind of been starting to notice in my life as a whole, not even just with working out, you got to learn to trust the process, right? There are processes for a reason, right? There's a process to getting shredded. There's a process to putting on mass. There's a process to building a business. There's a process to becoming a billionaire. There's a process to becoming a millionaire. There's a process to cooking souffle. Like, a lot of people tend not to follow the process. They don't follow instructions. They kind of just wing it. And it's something that I've done all my life, my whole entire life. Wing it. And that doesn't lead to any type of success, and it's a crazy thing to realize now because it's such a simple thing, but a lot of times it's the simplest of things that are the most complicated for us, right? For example, driving right now, this lady's doing some craziness next to me. But example, like just a quick example, you feel tired all the time, but you stay up late at night and you want to know what to do to not feel tired. So simple. Go to sleep at night. Go to sleep early, right? But easier said than done. It's a lot more simple than it sounds, right? A lot more complicated than it sounds, even though it's so simple. It's not the best example, but you get the point, right? A lot of times the simplest things in investing isn't it's complex, but it's not at the same time. Save $200 every month, invest it in your 401k or RSP or index fund or whatever it is that you have available to you, right? Over the next 30-40 years, you will see a return on your investment. It is that simple, but yet people make it complicated. You want to make a burger, for example, homemade burger. There is a cookbook you have that shows you how to make homemade burgers. You won't go pick up that cookbook and follow it bit by bit, piece by piece, instruction by instruction, and learn how to do the thing because you just want to go maybe open it, look through it once, say, okay, I can do that, close the cookbook, put it away, and then go completely botch the job, right? When you have the process and the instructions in front of you on how to succeed, and in doing so, right, you will get better at following that process, mastering that process, and then being able to make the perfect burger every time. But a lot of times we just want to wing it. I just want to wing it. And that's a recipe for failure in every single thing you do in life, man. And that's been me since for as long as I can remember, There is a process to everything, and you need to learn to follow the process. Follow the systems. Follow the processes that people before you put in place and that led them to the successes that they have gotten in their lives currently. And to circle it back to working out, you need to follow a program. You need to develop a program yourself or buy a program from someone or get a free program online that's available everywhere. There's free programs everywhere. Follow it to a T to get maximum results. I know you've heard it before. You know you should do this. Actually do it though. Like there's a difference, right? There's a difference between that. We all fall victim to this. I fall victim to this. We soak in all this information. We know what to do, but we don't do it, right? Actually doing it is the hard part, right? Just getting information. We're in the information age. Getting the information is the easy part. Actually implementing. People need to be taught how to implement. I need to learn how to implement, right? You need to follow a program, man. You can't just go into the gym every day and just do whatever you feel like doing. If your goal is to achieve maximum results and achieve some form of success, right? So achieve some form of growth. If you want hypertrophy to be your main goal, you want to get as big as possible, that's what you need to do without a word of a doubt. Right? So, like, it's something that I wrestle with every day, and I know a lot of other people do too, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, and to even pinpoint a more, I would say, a worse problem with myself, and I know a lot of other people that I've spoken to, is really coming down to the implementation and coming to taking action. I don't know what it is about people, and I would even say people in my generation. I would even say people 20 and over, between 20 and 30. Right? That generation, for some reason, I don't know if it's the age of social media and the impact it's had on our dopamine system, our attention, our ADHD, because it does cause ADHD behavior, social media, right? It's caused ADHD behavior in people who don't even have ADHD, right? You will be cooking. You'll get up in the morning, you're cooking a meal. While you're cooking a meal, you're trying to scroll through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, right? While you're doing that, you're also trying to drink your coffee and sip on it while you cook, while you scroll through. Why? Do one thing at a time, right? But that bouncing from thing to thing to thing, that is literally you creating ADHD-like behavior in your mannerisms and in the way you go about life. And when that becomes a pattern, you now basically have ADHD, right? And I do it. I do the same thing, and I recognize when I'm doing it, and I try to stop myself. But at the same time, it's like you can't really help but doing it, because you feel like if you're just sitting there making food, you're wasting your time when you could be listening to a podcast, right? When you could be listening to something educational. So I recognize that there's a good and there's a bad to these things, but learning how to maybe just focus on doing one thing at a time, you might find that really rewarding for your predicament and whatever predicament you're in. But back to what I was saying about my generation, we just have this issue with actually implementing the knowledge that we incur. I don't know why. I really don't know. Like, I can speak for myself. I've soaked in so many information, read so many different books on self-improvement, on mental awareness, on emotional intelligence, on investing, on business building, on creating systems, like so many different things, right? How many of those things am I actually implementing? A few, but very little, few too little. Right? And I can only imagine if I was actually implementing more of the things I was learning, where I would be at today and how I would feel on a daily basis. It would be so much, I'd be flourishing, right? Compared to right now. Not that I'm in a terrible position right now, but I could be way better off, right? And a lot of us just have this issue, man. I'm not sure why, and it's what I've been trying to figure out over these last few months to a year, It's just how do you get into the habit of actually implementing the things you're learning? And it comes down to that word, a habit, right? You got to make it a habit. Doing it once or twice doesn't work, right? Everything is a marathon, right? It's not a race. It's not a sprint. Going to the gym, working out, that little 30, 45 minutes you do every day, in 5 years, in 3 years, you will look insane compared to your starting point, right? But it's building that habit of doing that 35 minutes every day that's difficult for people. And it's so hard for us to conceptualize for whatever reason, not sure why, that even right now, I'm reading a kinesiology exercise science book, right? And I struggle every day to actually sit down and put an hour or two of reading and actual active learning into it. Me maybe doing 2 1-hour sessions a week is nothing compared to me doing a half an hour to 20 minutes every day, right? That 20 minutes every day will result and yield a far better understanding and invitation of the knowledge from the book into my mind than the 1 hour at 2 days a week, right? And for some reason though, it's so hard for us to conceptualize that, and so hard for us to do, even though it's such a simple thing. You gotta implement the things you're learning, and you gotta realize that it's not a 100-meter dash, man. It's a marathon. It's the Moab, you know what I mean? It's a 200-mile race. Not even 200. It's more than that. It's a never-ending thing. You know what I mean? And once you kind of really understand that to your core, and you realize that just doing a little bit every day is what you need to bring to the table for yourself, that's the starting point to building the habits that allow you to be able to start really implementing and really just flourishing, man. Just flourishing and growing and just becoming a better person every day, right? It's easier said than done, I know. It's a challenge I'm going through myself as well. But just to tie this little rant up, really and truly, it just comes back to what I was saying when it comes to working out. I know a lot of people, I see a lot of people doing it. Man, it's not hard. Just go look up a free program to get into. Do the free program, stick to it for a month or two, and just reap the benefits from that. And once you do it once, I believe that once you do it once and actually do it properly, you'll become so much more trusting in the process that it allows you to now further go on to do other things, do other forms of training, exercise, when it comes to just educational things, building a business, whatever it is you're doing. You'll start to actually trust in the process, and habitually over time, the more you start understanding and trusting in the process and trying different processes, you'll master how to actually follow the process, right? And then once you master that, your success in whatever it is you're doing is inevitable, right? If I was to tell you right now that if you did X and X and X for 3 years, you would be, let's just say, a millionaire, right? In 3 years, if you did exactly what I told you and followed exactly what I told you, you would do it, right? But that's literally what it is. That's literally what it takes to become that. You just need to follow the process, find a process, follow it. And I'm speaking to myself as well when I say these things right now to the camera and to whoever's watching the video, right? Just follow the process. That's all it takes, man. Just trust the process. Follow the process, right? All these things can be done. All these things can be learned, right? The difference between you and Joe over there that has the massive house and the big happy family and the 5 cars and the vacations and it's just a matter of knowledge and implementation of that knowledge that you do have available to you if you seek it and learn and implement. There's no difference. Joe's a human just like you. You know what I mean? He eats, breathes, and shit just like you, right? Really take that in. LeBron James, The Weeknd, Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods. These guys are human just like us, There's no difference. Everybody has their talents and their tendencies and their quirks, of course. But at the end of the day, they're just human, man. They're just human. You have what it takes. Go out there. Learn what it is to focus. Get it done. And good luck.